Hey, my friends, welcome back. Glad you're here. Today, it's all about stretching. So maybe you've done a workout, one of the other videos, and you are very sore and you just need to stretch out some of that soreness. This is for you. Or maybe you're just a human being and you move in the same pattern a lot and you realize, boy, I'm a little stiff and I need to get some of these kinks worked out. This is for you. This is also if you wake up with lower back tightness. I'm going to show you a couple of stretches that will help with that. The goal of this is to not be a really long stretch routine. We're just going to hit some stretches, and I want you to pay attention to stretch really speaks to you, meaning it feels really good and your body's like, wow, I want more of that. Please pay attention to which stretch it is and then do that stretch every day just to help your body feel better. You move better and you're going to realize, wow, my mobility is improving because you're consistent with the stretch. So if you have a resistance band, it will make the stretches even more beneficial. If you don't, it's okay. You don't need it, but it'll feel way better if you do have one. So go grab a resistance band if you have it and a chair, and we'll get started. First, we're going to start from a seated position. So pretend you just woke up, and maybe you did, and you're watching this video, and you have some lower back tightness. What I want you to do is sitting nice and tall. I just want you to twist and hold. Twist as far as you can, as comfortably as you can, and just a little twisty. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds. Twist to the other side. Hold 5 to 10 seconds. It helps if you have a chair that has arms on it. If not, you can like pull on the bottom of your chair, but it's easier if you have a chair with arms. Then we'll switch and just do 2, 4, 5 each side and just see how it feels. So you want to sit tall when you're doing this, when you do not want to be leaning over. So sit tall and see how it feels. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is just another lower back stretch. You sit farther back in your chair. Well, it depends on your chair, I guess. Go wider with those knees, and then you're just going to let your upper body fall toward the floor. So if you want to press your hands on the floor to help support your lower back because it hurts, go slow. If you put your elbows on your knees and you lean forward and you feel a lower back stretch here, okay, that's a sign that you need to do this stretch because the goal is to be able to get to the floor. So let your chest fall between your knees and then drop your chin to your chest and see how that feels. See if you get a nice little stretch down the muscles that help support your spine. See if it's inner thighs, see if it's lower back. Hold that for 10 to 30 seconds. So that's my 2 lower back stretches. If you didn't feel anything, great. Then let's move on to the next one. If you did, please continue to do that every day. It won't hurt you to stretch every day. All right. And notice it only took what, a minute? Next is I want to show you 2 different ones, or actually 3 different variations here for your hamstrings. We sit way too much in our society, and so we need to stretch your hamstrings. So from a seated position, kick your right leg out, slight bend in your knee, and lean forward. Should feel a really nice stretch in the back of that hamstring. So you can stay from a seated position. If you want, if you're from a standing position, kick a leg out, slight bend in that knee, lean forward. Should be a really nice stretch in that hamstring. Or if you want an even deeper stretch, plant a heel on a chair, a bench, slight bend in that knee, and lean forward. And it's a much deeper stretch. If you need to hold on to a wall while you're doing this, please do. But if you chest angled versus chest straight on will change how the stretch is. Okay? So you have 3 different variations. See how that felt. You want to do both legs. If that was like, wow, so tight, do it every day. Okay? The reason I really want to highlight that one, just so you know, is when we're sitting in a chair. So this is the length that our hamstring is supposed to be. This is the normal length, but when you sit in a chair, your hamstring becomes shortened. And so if you sit for long periods of time, the shorter the hamstring becomes, the more lower back pain you can have, and how it impedes how your body naturally walks and moves. So keeping those hamstrings at the length they're supposed to be will benefit you tremendously. All right. The next stretch is with that band, we have to get your chest, because our society has a tendency to roll those shoulders forward, and we have a forward head syndrome, right? You you may not feel it, but your neck is here, your shoulders are here. So we got to pull those shoulders back. With your band, this should feel comfortable. It shouldn't hurt through your shoulders. But you're just going to go palms facing the wall behind you. Then we're going to take that band overhead and go nice and slow. And when you feel a stretch through the biceps or the pecs, then just stop there. Okay, now this should not hurt your shoulders. It should feel good. The goal eventually is to be able to go touch those glutes with the band. So if you don't have a band, you could use a beach towel, a tea towel that's really long, because you don't want the tight, towels don't give like resistance bands, so it's impossible to be able to go and touch your glutes with a narrow grip. You need to go to a wide grip, so that's why towels work better. But just feel for any tightness. Now, if this causes shoulder pain, but you still want to get that chest stretch, what I want you to do, put your hand on a wall and then turn away. And it's going to be a so you're going to anchor your hand on the wall and then just turn away. And it's going to be a really nice stretch through that pec. If all you feel is a bicep stretch, then put your forearm on a door frame. So here's a door frame. I'm going to put my forearm on it, and then I'm going to twist away. So your elbow is bent and you're just twisting away, and it's a nice big chest stretch through here. Okay? So you'll do that both sides. Please notice how you feel. If you felt a lot of tension, like doing this movement or turning away, do this stretch every day. That's going to help start releasing some of the tension here and helping you pull those shoulders back. Okay, getting the back better into a proper alignment, which is going to help your neck a lot. So if you have neck pain, let's start working on opening that chest back up. Right. The next one. Now this is for those who have a lot of lower back pain, or you feel a lot of tightness, like you're doing core exercises and you're always tight in those hip flexors. Let's stretch them. So a couple of different ways to do that. We're going to go into a big stance here, and all you're going to do, it feels better with a resistance band. Take those arms overhead, and then, so if your left leg is back, you're going to lean to the right. So from front position, the left leg is back, lean to the right. And you're not pulling the band, you're letting the band assist your arms to get a deeper stretch. So it should be a really huge stretch through that hip flexor. Should also maybe even feel good through your oblique and your TFL. So you'll hold 10 to 30 seconds. Good. And then you'll switch sides. So if you can use a towel for this if you don't have a resistance band. You don't have to use a resistance band. You can just grab your hands and lean that way. Still the same stretch. So whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay? So that's one way to stretch your hip flexor. The other way is to go to a kneeling position. Push the hips forward. So if your left leg is back, push your hips forward, raise your left arm, and take your left arm overhead. So that's also going to stretch those hip flexors really well. It is from a kneeling position, so hopefully it feels right on your knees. But the reason why this stretch is important, is because we sit. So this is the normal length our hip flexors are supposed to be. But when we sit, they become shortened. And if you sit for a long time, then that can pull on your lower back. So we got to lengthen those hip flexors back out to help your body just feel better. So that when you're 90, you're not walking like this because your hamstrings are too short and your hip flexors are too short. Okay? It matters. So, how did that stretch feel? If you really need that stretch, log it, remember it, do it every day. If you've had some crazy tightness like out here and you notice that, it's hip flexors can also affect the TFL. So here's your TFL stretch. We're going to cross left leg in front of right, lean to the right, slight bend in those knees, take your left arm overhead. So if you want to be like hold on to a door jamb or a wall or a chair or something, but this is a huge stretch down that side, especially in that outer hip part, which can become aggravated if all these other muscles are tight. So we need to stretch that. Now, if you want to do a little lean forward, it'll change where the stretch is. And instead of it being out here, it'll move it a little bit to the lower back. If it's painful, please don't do it. Okay? So you'll do that both sides, right in front of left, slight bend in those knees, lean to the left, right arm overhead. All right, so make a note. How does this feel? Do you need to do this every day? Even if you just do 10 seconds every day, it's better than not doing anything every day, right? The next one is going to be for your upper back. So if we have rounded shoulders, it puts a lot of strain through this thoracic spine. So if you have a chair, a table, kitchen counter nearby, you're just going to place your hands on the edge and then let your head fall between your shoulders. Your elbows are slightly bent, sticking those hips back so your back is nice and flat, and you'll just hold here. So this tries to, our shoulders are here, so by doing this, it pulls our shoulders down and back, which will help relieve some of the tension in your thoracic spine. So hold that for 10 to 30 seconds, see how it feels. Take a note. If it feels good, do it every day. Last one is traps, your upper traps. So we do this, right? So our neck starts forming this way. Maybe even our pillows. We're sitting in bed and we're reading books and we have the pillow propped behind our neck and it pushes our head forward. We have to start working on that. So what I want you to do, shoulders down and back, left ear to left shoulder, and then rotate that right thumb to the ceiling. So left ear to left shoulder, right thumb to the ceiling. You can get a stretch with that right hand relaxed, but if you do that right thumb to the ceiling, it just makes it a little bit deeper. Okay. So this is going to be working right through here, stretching a little bit of some scalenes. Other side, right shoulder to right ear, left thumb to the ceiling, but your shoulders are down and back. You don't want to be doing this stretch while you're shrugging or rounded shoulders. So shoulders down and back, and then go into that stretch. If this causes pain, dizziness, nausea, you're stretching too hard, back off and go see a chiropractor. Okay, and we have one more just to help through that neck. When we have this going on from all that we do, it puts a lot of strain on the levator scapula area, so a muscle that runs underneath your scapula. So what we're going to do is just an upper trap. So a little chin to your left clavicle, your left collarbone. Pull those shoulders down and back. Really drop, especially that right shoulder. If you want to add resistance using your left hand to pull that head a little bit more, you can, but please be careful. You don't want to pull too hard. And then we're going to come and do chin to the right clavicle. You can use the right hand to add resistance if you want. Left shoulder dropped as far down as you can. And it's a really big stretch along the upper trap and a little bit into the levator scapulae. Let's finish the elevator scapulae with that rounded shoulder. So we're going to clasp our hands, palms face the wall in front of you, round those shoulders forward, and then we're going to lift your right shoulder as you drop your left, and then lift the left as you drop your right. So feel for any tightness you might have there. And if it felt good and you got a really good stretch, do it every day. So those are just a few stretches to help you. Please make a note, write it down, and maybe even time mark where the stretches were in this video so that you can come back and do them every day if you need reminders of where to position and how it works. Because if you don't keep your body nice and limber, you're going to look like this. And what's the quality of life when you get to this? It makes everything so much harder. Driving a car, maybe you can't even drive a car because you can't see over the steering wheel. Maybe getting out of the car. So please appreciate your body and stretch. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you at the next workout. Have a great day. Hey, if you got value out of this video, please subscribe and also comment below what else you'd like to see, because this channel is for you, to help you be better in your everyday life. Thanks for subscribing. Tell your friends about it, and we'll see you on the next video.